Hello, my name is Paul Burnett. I'm an accounting student at Southern Utah University, and this is a brief presentation on an ethical intimate conflict entitled, You've Seen It, Now What Do You Do? In this conflict, there's a CPA named Ralph who's head of internal audit of a mid-level sized bank. One day after work, he goes to a bar about 10 miles outside of town, and he sees Draper, one of the female senior loan officers from the bank, sharing intimate drinks with one of the bank's major borrowers. He wants to confirm his suspicion, so he waits outside. And a little while later, he sees these two come out and engage in conduct which leaves no doubt in his mind that there's an intimate relationship going on. The next day at work, he has an issue. He knows that this relationship is in violation of one of the bank's policies. He has a couple of options on how to deal with this situation. These options I'll discuss, and then I will give my suggested resolution to the problem. Ralph's first option is to approach the bank president and explain to him what he's seen and suggest that the bank look further into this relationship between the bank and the borrower. However, he knows and has rumored that the bank president and Draper have had intimate relationships in the past. He's fearful that the bank president, as his boss especially, might tell him that he's spying on Draper or that he shouldn't be in such a situation. He might take Draper's side and do nothing. The second option is for Ralph to do nothing himself. His rationalization for this is that he shouldn't have seen what he saw, and that by doing so, he's lost all objectivity in the situation as head of internal audit. His third option is to approach the chairman of the board. However, he knows that the chairman of the board and the bank president are good friends, and that the chairman of the board would tell him that he's in over his head, or that he at least went over the head of the president and is in the wrong. The fourth option is to approach Draper as head of internal audit and demand that she break off the relationship, resign, or do both. As you can see, that there's some consequences to all of these. To the first one, he may get pushed aside, and he may end up losing his job if he pushes it too far in the wrong way. The second one, he's breaking many codes of conduct, and it leaves the bank to very liable situations. If he does nothing, in the end, if this relationship goes bad, the borrower could sue the bank. Option number 3, to approach the chairman of the board, he may just get told that he is going over his head. Option 4 is that he may get thrown, or the company may get thrown into harassment lawsuits or false accusation lawsuits. And all in all, he may end up losing his job in many of these. The worst consequence could be that nothing happens at all, and that the bank goes on as the way it was. My suggested resolution to this is that, first off, option 2 and 4 should not even be thought of. First off, he should not do anything, or he should not approach Draper himself. These do not go in line with the AICPA Codes of Ethical Conduct and would not be under his responsibilities as head of an internal audit. The first option of approaching the bank president should be the first one to be taken. However, he should approach it sensitively, truthfully, and independently. If for some reason that does not work and the bank president does push him aside and take Draper's side, he should approach the chairman of the board. If again, for some reason that the chairman of the board still turns a blind eye, then Ralph has a decision to make. He needs to decide whether it's worth working for such a company that turns away a blind eye to these breaking of policies. Although many of this situation and many of these options may be difficult, I believe that this resolution that I just gave is an ethical and appropriate manner in which to resolve this conflict for Ralph.